Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Cohn. Today, I'm here with Tom Weisberg, the head of Health, Safety, Security, and Environment, as well as Incident Management and Business Continuity Management here at Maersk in North America. Tom, welcome, and thank you for taking out time of your very busy role these days.
Good afternoon, Monica, and great to be here. Thank you.
First off, can you tell us what your role covers on a normal day?
Sure. On a normal day, the health, safety, security, and environment team is primarily concerned with the health of our organization, our employees, our facilities. We look at air quality, we look at ergonomics, so we look at facility layout, we look at lighting, and then we're always, we deal with our facilities and their leadership and their management teams on safety issues. So we conduct training, whether you're in a warehouse facility, maybe it's forklift training or hazardous training. We take a look at, we do audits. We look at inspections of facilities to make sure that they're safe. We look at incidents, conduct analysis and investigations on incidents and accidents, and try to find the root cause of why it happened and deal with our facility partners and leadership to make sure that we find the cure and how to reduce these incidents. So we also do a lot on the security part. Again, we deal with our facility leadership and our employees and staffing agencies, and we look at on the security side. We look at do we have the proper fencing? Are we in compliant with local, state, and federal guidelines? Are we in compliant with OSHA guidelines? Are we what kind of security do we have? Do we have live guards? Do we use cameras? And what other technology do we utilize? So, and then on the environment side, we're always looking at how do we reduce our emissions in our inland network. So we're always looking at how can we cut the use of diesel fuels and look at new technology, maybe electric technology to run equipment. And then we're also looking at how do we big initiative of our company is to decarbonize logistics by 2050. So what fuels do we use on our vessels? So on a normal day, we're working on all those projects on how to keep our facilities and our people safe and secure, and looking at the environment. On a not a normal day, you could say, in the incident management and business continuity world, we're looking at how do we deal with hurricanes, how do we deal with earthquakes, floods, pieces of the operation that are shut down for fires or one incidents, and how do we deal with our commercial teams, our operational groups, our customers, to make sure that the business can continue, and how do we prepare for those incidents? So that's us on a normal day.
So I feel very fortunate I've been able to work with you and your team in times past, and I know how much preparedness goes into all of this management. Can you tell us a bit more about what's going on in these past weeks and today even?
Yeah, obviously the past weeks have been an incredible experience for not just only the Maersk team, but the world primarily. We've, about 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, when we started to look at, how do we work from home? That was something we partnered with throughout the company. Of how do we work from home? Do we have enough bandwidth and VPN circuits? And so when you look at the business continuity piece, that's, making sure that we could work from home, service our customers, continue to move the cargo, and communicate. So that was a big part. And then when we got home, how do we make sure everybody's safe, right? How do we, the social distancing guidelines came out. What personal protective equipment should we utilize? And a really big, thanks to everybody on the front line out at the warehouse and distribution centers, our trucking companies, and our owner operators, and at the marine terminals, and of course on board our vessels. I mean, these colleagues have done a fantastic job of continuing to operate with very minimal instances of delays, and they've really taken on the social distancing and using the right equipment, and making sure that people are safe, right? And not that it hasn't gone without some incidents. We've had some incidents where we've had some COVID cases, but they've been dealt with very professional, very quick investigations. We've deep cleaned facilities, making sure everybody's safe. We're able to really link back to where people were, who they spoke to. So really following the procedures that were created to deal with the safety issues of operations during the COVID-19 response.
I'm so glad to hear that. So you mentioned a bit about the customer servicing our customers and how that plays a huge role in our everyday business. Can you talk a little bit more about how incident management actually plays that role for customers?
Sure. It was very apparent when COVID-19 really started to gain steam and people started to work from home, and there was questions about, will facilities remain open? What happens if
Right.
somebody gets a COVID, if there's a positive case? So we really looked at our business continuity plans, and quite frankly, we rewrote a lot of them. And there was things that we didn't have before of, what kind of cleaning are we going to do at a facility? What kind of gear do we have to make sure are at facilities? And how do we talk with our customers? Our customers really wanted to know, what is your business continuity? How are you going to keep facilities open? And if you do have an incident, what do you do? So there were
Right.
multiple cases with major retailers that we had some incidents at our facility, but we got on the phone and communicated to them directly and very quickly, and we went through what happened, what are the procedures for cleaning. They were able to ask questions, and they were able to also look at their supply chains and sit there and say, okay, if this facility was shut down for a period of time, what would happen? Also, the safety of their cargo. Was touching cargo, was touching cardboard, or was that a real incident? And we had to take the best CDC guidelines and guidelines from federal, state, and local health officials to determine how safe was the cargo and how safe were the employees. So we really partnered a lot with our customers during those early times, in particular when we were all learning of how to deal with this new threat.
The partnership and transparency that I've seen actually from the frontline sales teams, the warehouse, the operations teams has been phenomenal. I think I've never seen a orchestra work so well together in times of crisis. So I think that's vitally directed at you and your team in terms of the preparation. Given your experience, if we look a little bit more ahead instead of what's been happening, what does our recovery plan start to look like in the weeks or months ahead?
Yeah, and as everyone can see every day, everything changes every day, right? New states
Yeah.
issue new guidelines. States issue new guidelines. There's different health mandates and recommendations. So we try to take a look at all these recommendations, and it's going to be a phased approach. It can't be a blanket approach. So
Right.
for one policy and procedure that's good for one area of the country will not be good for another area of the country. So we're taking a look at all the different areas, all the different facilities. What's the status that's on the ground at that particular time? What are the local, federal, and state recommendations, laws, and mandates at that time? And we're kind of we're in the process of making a plan, a phased plan. And we need to also take a look at a big issue is healthcare. How do we look at our employees? Health. Are they in good health? Their families. Are they taking care of family members that may have the virus? And also the childcare, right? So how do we go about? All the schools are closed, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I believe almost every school district is closed and will be to the end of the year. So how do we make a phased approach where it's okay for employees to go back to the facility to work, but it's also, we take a look at all the other factors of childcare, of health issues in families, and quite frankly, we have shown that we have really efficiently worked from home, and really have created that whole virtual office that works very well. So all these things are being looked at to make a plan, but the most important part of the plan is the safety of everyone, and that's the most important part. So the safety of our employees, the safety of our customers' cargo, and making sure that we're in compliance with the best data from federal, state, and local governments, so we can open states and provinces when it's the best time and it's safe. That's our primary concern.
I, for one, have been looking into kind of the back of the kitchen, as it might be, more so than a lot of our other employees, and I don't think I've ever felt safer, more cared for in this company. So, I thank you, and I appreciate you and your team's dedication and endless hours of work, and the time that you've given us kind of for a peek into the kitchen of sorts. And I really good luck in the coming weeks, and please stay healthy. And thank you again.
Monica, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to have some time to talk with you.
Great. Thank you.